Good morning. This is JC St. Louis's oldest living hippie, and I'm bringing you another raw story. And in this particular one, it's by Thom Hartmann. Thom Hartmann is a St. Louis resident who's very well known in the news and podcast industry, and he's straightforward. He tells the truth, and he is one of the contributors to Raw Story. So this one's Thom Hartmann, one of our local boys here in St. Louis. So here you go. I'm not going to listen to all this. It's almost 9 minutes long. I'll stop it after about 7 or 8 minutes at the most. But please listen to it all. If this doesn't scare the hell out of you, I don't know what will. Because we're on the precipice of World War III. It might not be nuclear, but it might be tactical nuclear, or it might be conventional. I don't know, but you should listen to as much of this as you can.
This alarming intel shows how Taco Trump will drag us into World War III. The world has often seen great wars ignited not by inevitability, but by weakness, hesitation, and betrayal. Cowards playing with matches. History shows that one of the biggest risk factors for war is an autocratic leader who fears for his own future. Which is why the kind of pathetic incoherence we saw at the United Nations this week should concern us all. This week's news brings some alarming data points. After 4 different Danish airports were buzzed by what many assume to be Russian drones, Danes are uncertain. A French airport was hit yesterday and a Norwegian airport was shut down by drones earlier in the week. The U.S. Navy fired Trident 2D5 ballistic missiles from the coast of Florida, lighting up the sky as they were testing devices that could carry thermonuclear bombs deep into Russia. A massive U.S. Navy presence in the Caribbean and off the coast of Venezuela was just this week joined by F-35S and Reaper drones as Trump has blown 3 Venezuela boats out of the water without congressional authorization. In an absolutely unprecedented move, Pete Hegseth has ordered all the U.S. military's flag officers and their staffs to come to Virginia for a meeting with an unknown agenda. This is not normal military procedure. It has the stench of authoritarian consolidation, the kind of maneuver history has shown us precedes purges, coups, and crackdowns. Russia is experiencing a nationwide fuel shortage, also in Russian-occupied Crimea, as the result of Ukrainian drones taking out refineries and depots across the nation. It's so bad, the Kremlin has banned fuel exports until the end of the year. The nation's economy is teetering and Putin is apparently in political trouble. Taiwan's Deputy Foreign Minister Wu Chicheng warns, China is preparing to invade Taiwan. Russia's Foreign Minister, Sergei Lavrov, just said, NATO and the European Union want to declare, in fact, have already declared a real war on my country and are directly participating in it. NATO notified Russia that they may shoot down planes that invade NATO airspace, and Russia replied that would be war. As Russian jets cross NATO skies and intelligence warns of an impending strike, while Trump, desperate for a diversion from the Epstein/Trump sex scandal and a collapsing economy, appears to be trying to provoke a war with Venezuela, the question grows louder. Are we watching the sparks of a new global conflict? And is the dangerous bond between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump the match that could light the fuse of World War III? Remember back in July when Trump told NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, during a visit to the Oval Office, that if Europe would pay for the anti-missile defense systems Ukraine desperately needs, he'd see to it that they were shipped over there promptly. President Volodymyr Zelensky tweeted, "I'm grateful to our team and to the United States, Germany, and Norway for preparing a new decision on Patriots for Ukraine." Rutte coordinated with Germany and Norway, and later other NATO countries, to raise the billions necessary to pay for the systems to replenish stocks held by European nations, particularly France, Germany, and Denmark, that those countries are supplying to Ukraine. The replacements should have arrived in Europe by now, a continent that's increasingly on edge as Putin keeps flying EGs over former Soviet client states in the Baltics. As they supply Ukraine, which is suffering under unprecedented attacks with hundreds of missiles and drones every night, Europe's own stockpiles that could be used to deter Russian aggression are vanishing. Between that Oval Office meeting and now, however, Trump had his infamous red carpet meeting with Putin in Alaska and apparently got different orders from his self-described friend and probable mentor. As Vivian Salama reports for The Atlantic, there's been a sudden change in the Trump administration's position with regard to providing NATO or EU countries with defensive weaponry to replace what they've given to Ukraine. Undersecretary of Defense for Policy Elbridge Colby said that he didn't believe in the value of certain foreign military sales, according to two administration officials with knowledge of the discussion. Adding to European concerns, news broke last week that a Russian major general who defected claims Putin is planning a full-on invasion of both Ukraine and parts of the Baltic states, all NATO members, before Christmas. The British newspaper The Daily Express reported, in an article headlined Russia's Grey Zone invasion plan to start World War III before Christmas revealed by defector. Moscow is preparing a Grey Zone attack on Poland before Christmas, a senior Russian military official has revealed. The warning, sent through an Eastern European ally during London's Say Arms Fair last week, has triggered urgent discussions in the UK and US about the risk of a deniable strike aimed at fracturing NATO. Poland, Romania, and Estonia have all seen Russian MiGs violate their airspace in the past 2 weeks, scrambling NATO jets as Poland and Estonia have invoked NATO's Article 4
That's far enough. I'll just very quickly say that MiGs are MiGs, Russian MiG jets, even though the reading software doesn't know how to pronounce it. So there it is. Time to start thinking about all of your children and grandchildren who signed up for the draft when they were 18, which you have to do now, and what might happen to them if this war starts in Eastern Europe and it ends up that we become involved and send troops over. It's not going to be fun for anyone, and it's going to especially going to be the end of it if Russia decides to fire a nuclear attack. Then you might as well bend over and kiss your ass goodbye, because there won't be anything left anywhere in the world. And I hope they're not that stupid, and let's hope that it ends up being World War III ends up being either a conventional or a tactical nuclear war with no major missile strikes on any major cities by either side. This is JC, St. Louis's oldest living hippie, saying, fuck you, Donald Trump. Fuck you, Vladimir Putin. Fuck Russia. And to all my friends, family, followers, subscribers, love you all. Pox some more, Jack. Keep on trucking.